Billy Napier goes and gets himself another elite quarterback. We'll break it down right here on Gators Breakdown.
Gators Breakdown, because there's never a dull moment in Gator Nation.
All right, here we are on Gators Breakdown, breaking down a big commitment for the Florida Gators at the quarterback position. Already had DJ Lagway in the fold for a class of 2024. And now Florida gets another one. Austin Simmons, elite quarterback from Pahokee, commits to the Florida Gators right now for the class of 2025. He says he's still, I know the reclassification is a big topic here. He says now he's going to, for now, for 2025, but the conversation's still going to be going on if he's going to reclass not to 24, but all the way to the class of 2023. So we'll see the storylines following that, what Austin Simmons is going to do. But he does say, for now, 2025. So that's worth monitoring. I think it ends up happening, the reclassification, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. He says 25 for now. So there we go. But we'll get into the commitment here of Austin Simmons, Billy Napier getting another elite quarterback. That was a big question, right? He comes in to Florida. What would quarterback recruiting look like? And, not much to point to, except for Levi Lewis at Louisiana. And now you got Anthony Richardson, and he's going on to the NFL and will be a top pick. And, how much – I don't think that's a selling point for Billy Napier toward these recruits. I just think it's the type of person Billy Napier is. And Austin Simmons has really come in and says, he loves Billy Napier, loves the way he talks quarterbacks, loves the way he coaches quarterbacks. They've sit down, they've had meetings. He likes what Billy Napier and Ryan O'Hara has to sell with the quarterback position. And this is two guys in a row now. DJ Lagway, Austin Simmons, two big-time quarterbacks that are absolutely buying what Billy Napier is selling about the quarterback position here at Florida. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll get going here. More on Austin Simmons, but big pickup for the Gators here at the most important position on the field. So let's get into Austin Simmons a bit. Gator Nation, hey, we got to commit. Let's go. Deep dive. Austin Simmons, 6'3", 200 pounds from Pahokee, from South Florida. Not going to Miami or South Florida school down there. He's going to the University of Florida, committing to the Gators. He's a 4-star from the class of 2025. That's where the rankings come from. We'll see if they get adjusted a bit. They should if he reclassifies to 23. But for now, here we go. 4-star on the 24/7 Sports Composite. 56th overall player, 6th ranked quarterback. On 3 consensus, 4-star there as well. 96th overall, 9th ranked quarterback. They're just coming out of a sophomore season here. Young quarterback. So either, if he stays in 25, you're getting way ahead of the curve and getting your quarterback for that class. Or we'll see what happens. But already, and the reason the reclassification is even a thought, already completed his high school core classes. And as of last fall, had finished 15 college credits already. That's what you're getting there right here with Austin Simmons. But if you go help carry Pahokee deep into the Florida's 1A playoffs 2 seasons ago, completed 117 of 171 passes for 1,900 yards, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Then last year, his sophomore season, big, huge jump at Pahokee High School. 3,253 yards passing, completed 163 of his 242 passing attempts, 27 touchdowns. That's a 67% completion percentage for the young quarterback. Strong arm, left arm quarterback. Now, if you go watch the highlights that are out there, work through his progressions. That's impressive for a young quarterback. Going through his progressions, finding his guy. Can throw the ball all over the field. Well, not afraid to throw over the middle. Young quarterbacks, they like to, especially if you got some advantages on the outside, you live on the outside, afraid to throw over the middle where there's a lot more traffic, got to be a bit more accurate. 67% completion percentage and likes throwing over the middle. And we'll have to work on that, he's a two-sport athlete. Don't let me gloss over that. Got a baseball offer from Kevin O'Sullivan and the Gators baseball team last week. So he's got to get those baseball throws when he's out on the field a bit. His arm would drop a bit. Got to keep that arm up high. But thought of as a really, really high-level baseball player as well. So after doing a little bit of research, the Palm Beach Post had a really nice article on him last fall, and his personal coach, Oliver Bozeman, had to say this. Austin is in kind of a category by himself because of the amount of work he puts in, said Bozeman, who's coached Simmons for the last 5 years. Quote, most kids are in school all day. He's taking online classes as I go back to referencing him already finishing high school, taking college credits already. So this kind of goes to the next point. Quote, most kids are in school all day. Austin has already completed his high school work, and he's in the weight room, or he's in film study, or he's doing quarterback sessions when most kids are doing schoolwork. And that's not to say, of course, he neglects his schoolwork, but you got a lot more freedom when you're not taking high school classes. So he's able to spend more time working out, getting better in football. Comes from a family where his mom graduated from the University of Miami, his dad from Virginia Union. So academics have been a priority, obviously. And his dad's a former coach in the CFL and Arena League. So he's been around football, been around film study pretty much his entire life. His dad had been raising him around football. So going back to Bozeman, he worked with Michael Vick, Teddy Bridgewater, a longtime quarterback coach. He's worked at 8 colleges, 5 NFL teams, including the Dolphins in 2008 to 2010. Also had this to say to the Palm Beach Post. Austin has a football IQ of a college quarterback right now. He understands coverages. He understands the disguising of coverages. Austin knows where to go with the ball. Has his preset in his mind based on down and distance, what coverage he may be facing. That's a big selling point for Billy Napier. Billy Napier loves the down and distance. What can you garner from that? He has his preset in his mind based on down and distance, what coverage he may be facing. It's a lot of study there, a lot of film study, knowing what you're going to see, being prepared on the field. Bozeman went on to say, I played with Anquan Bolden, and Austin sees the field way better. Not bad. Hendricks said that. He's not an athlete, Anquan is, but knowing the game, understanding the offense, having total control over the offense, he's the best I've ever been around. A more athletic Peyton Manning, David Simmons says, people call his son the Black Peyton Manning. High praise there for this young quarterback who's only a sophomore and getting, better than Anquan Bolden, who played on this field, and the stadium's named after him. Peyton Manning-like comparisons. Man, it's a lot of hype there. Gators getting a good one here in Austin Simmons. As I mentioned, two-sport athlete, plays baseball as well. So a lot to like about this one, and says he wants to play the two sports. So we'll see what that means down the road. If it's 25, plenty of time to think about that. If it's 23, you got to figure, some things out and see if that's still going to be a possibility for Simmons. But did pick up that offer recently. But in about a month ago from Florida, been on campus a couple of times, just really, really bought in to what Billy Napier had to sell, Ryan O'Hara had to sell. Quote, he told Corey Bennett from Gators Online, looked like they really understood the quarterback play as soon as I walked in the building, sat down with them, building that connection and relationship with them. It just really brought that spark with Florida. And also watching how they practice, performing on and off the field, the meeting rooms, on the field, grinding, ripping through the whole practice. That's what made me really choose Florida. Definitely love the tradition there with football and baseball itself. I mean, two visits in Florida was able to get this done for the big-time quarterback. Over Miami, FSU, Texas A&M, Tennessee, Penn State, Arkansas, Auburn, Louisville. Now, of course, timing does play into this. If he's the 25 guy, then you got to stay on him. You've got to be able to fend off those schools, but the reclassification happens. Should be happening pretty soon. Yeah, about getting that offer about a month ago, on campus twice, being able to watch spring practice on campus with DJ Lagway at the same time. I mean, now you got two quarterbacks here. This is not going to affect Lagway either way. Reclassification or not, this is how you build a football team back. I mean, the most important position on the field, you're going to go build your quarterback room back up. Create competition between two elite quarterbacks. One of them's going to work out. I can promise you that. You'd be hard pressed and try and sell me. Neither one of these guys are going to work out. And now Billy Napier being able to work with quarterbacks like this coming up in the next few seasons. Should be some exciting times there at the quarterback position for the Gators. And of course, you figure that one out. You start marking down wins in the win category. A smart kid here, since I already finished his high school, taking college courses, 5.3 GPA. You build that up with all these being able to finish high school early, taking these online college classes. Casual here, casual Carolina fishing always hops in right here on Gators Breakdown. Says, if he reclassifies to 23, worry about what Lagway would do. I promise you don't. If anything was to happen, it wouldn't even have a relationship with this. It wouldn't deal with this at all. But nothing. I'm not projecting anything to happen there. Not what I mean. But no, it's not going to affect Lagway. Lagway wants to be a Gator. From everything I've been told, this should not affect it whatsoever. They're looking forward to competing against each other, playing together. So, but he does say the reclassification is a possibility. It is a possibility, but it's just not sure yet. But that decision has to come pretty fast. And maybe, doesn't want to overshadow the day he commits and the day he chooses a school with that storyline as well. Just one more time. Last year, 163 of 242, 3,161 yards, 24 touchdowns. Our good friend Will Miles is going to like that 67% completion percentage and how that's going to translate. But to me, just the most exciting part, besides getting a great player here for Florida, one that obviously seems to have his head in the right place and ready to come contribute for the Gators, is just the competition it's going to create for the Gators. And not only that, now think about what you can sell out on the recruiting trail to offensive linemen and wide receivers and running backs who can come play in this offense. Now you're sitting here saying, hey, now we got two of these guys. You're going to play with one of them. You might play with both of them, and how, depending on how red shirts pan out down the road and all that. But now you've got so much more to sell on the recruiting trail. Blanco brings up a good point here, and yeah, I hope he waits for 2025 is what Blanco says here. And that is very interesting. Is it better that he waits? If he comes to say he reclassifies to 2023, what does that mean for him? Is he going to be inserted straight into this quarterback battle that we've been talking about all spring? Of course he's going to be behind. So what does that mean? Is it, I won't necessarily say wasted year. I'm sure the staff doesn't want that. And, but does he want to come and just acclimate himself? You can play him up to 4 games, so it really wouldn't be all that wasted if there's an opportunity to go out and put him on the field. But would it be more beneficial for 23 or 25? Probably 25. I mean, if you're looking at 24 being the first year maybe with DJ Lagway, he comes in red shirts in 25 and puts a year between these guys. I can see the advantages both ways. If you go ahead and bring him in here early, he gets acclimated and it creates a good quarterback battle going into the 24 season. You'd have Graham Mertz back in his second season at Florida. He's got 2 years remaining. true freshman DJ Lagway, and then the second year of Austin Simmons if he reclassifies. Anybody, you give me that 3-man battle, whoever wins that job, that's looking to me pretty good for the 2024 quarterback position. Now you can play him in 4 games this year, then buy some chance. Now I wouldn't predict this; it'd be tough. This is a guy who should be going into his junior year of high school football. I mean, do you insert him into the quarterback battle? I mean, of course you insert him into the quarterback battle. But does he go in? I mean, can he win the job? As a guy who should be going into his junior season? I mean, if he does, what does that mean for the quarterback? The current quarterbacks, or does it mean he's that special? I mean, you've heard. I mean, of course, the people close to him are going to talk him up. But there is some example of how he understands the game, how he's been around the game, how he understands coverages. Strong-armed. If he can come in here and earn the job for 23, okay, yeah, of course you give it to him. But is there a plan to come in, redshirt, learn as much as possible, acclimate this body? I mean, he wouldn't be here till the summer, so he'd already be behind a bit. That's asking a lot for a guy who, I do ask myself the question, how much does missing, we've seen reclassifications all the time, and guys skip their senior season. But what would it mean for, any high school player, because this is almost unprecedented to jump 2 classes for reclassification. What would it mean to miss 2 years of high school? What would it mean for his development? Obviously, it's, the way he's working out and can dedicate more time to the game right now speaks a lot. But what about the camaraderie and building up with a team that he would miss for 2 years as a high school prospect? Yeah, just something that sticks in the back of my mind. How, I don't know. I'm just really asking the question, how would that affect him? Missing 2 years of high school football and the experience and the throws. I mean, he threw for, 242 times last year. Would he throw for another 230, 250 times this year and get 250 more throws for experience? I mean, it's interesting. It's worth asking the question, how much would a 2-year reclassification affect? And I'm sure that's part of the conversation, what's going on now. Now, I'm sure, Coach Napier and them have really thought about it too. And if reclassification is on the table and something that they want, I'm sure they're asking themselves the same question and would feel safe doing so. And I'm sure those are the checks and balances and the questions that, the staff and Simmons and his family are thinking about is, would it be beneficial to do that? Well, I guess, what's the thought of him reclassifying to 24 as well? I mean, I guess I don't think that's likely. I think he'd either stay 25 or probably come up to the 23 class. Create some kind of separation between him and DJ Lagway, just naturally by being in different classes. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what comes of the reclassification. I know there's some out there who think that's still going to happen no matter what he said today. But it definitely is still a angle to this that is worth following for now. That decision would have to come pretty soon. All right, there we go. There's the latest on the big time, for now, 2025 commit, quarterback commit, elite quarterback commit, Austin Simmons, Billy Napier, building up this quarterback room, building up this offense. There's some exciting times. But like I said, I've heard him speak at the Clay County Gator event on Monday night, and there seemed to be a quiet confidence there with Billy Napier, especially with kind of what they're building for and what they're especially, kind of building for in recruiting these top classes over and over and over again was something he mentioned. I mean, it's, he knows the path. He's been there. He knows what it's going to take. In the most important position on the field, he's absolutely nailed so far. And, of course, given 23 class and Jaden Rashad, especially if you can fix the 23 class by that reclassification. But, I think, I'm not putting the Jaden Rashada situation on Billy Napier. Never did. And then to be able to, follow that up with DJ Lagway, Austin Simmons, it speaks to what he's able to do, what he's selling to these kids, what he's selling for the future for these kids. Now, I can't wait to see the effect this has on the rest of the players in the 24-25 classes. I think it's going to be huge. But all right, there we go, guys. That'll do it for this episode of Gators Breakdown. Plenty of content for you the last few days or last couple of days right here. So be sure to catch up on the previous episodes as well. Lots to Billy. As I said, Billy Napier was in town, so we got to speak to him a bit. So plenty to get into right here. But I know we're all excited for this big-time elite quarterback commit here in Austin Simmons. So, all right, everybody, that will do it. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Gators Breakdown. And, hey, stay tuned for more episodes later this week.